Thank you so much for watching. Now, I'm going to do something dangerous. Follow up on something that has already been in the news. Now, generally speaking, of course, the way the government works is they like to change the topic as many times as possible. So eventually you forget something from a week or a month or a year ago. Let's get back to this. There was a royal commission into veteran suicide. There was 122 recommendations that were made. We have a government that says they'll do some, maybe not others, but then we never really get any detail of what they've actually done. Phillip Thompson is, of course, a man who is part of the defence team for the federal opposition. I remember a couple of weeks ago I offered the opportunity of the Veterans Affairs Minister to come and join us, apparently overseas. We'll maybe link up at some other time. But Phillip, I wanted to talk to you, mate, about, and again, I'm not going to go through 122 points and have they or haven't they, but do you know much detail about their response to 122 recommendations other than press releases?
Well, Paul, thank you for having me on. I know about as much as the general public. I know about as much as pretty much what the government knows, which is not much. Mate, it's sad because the opposition wants to work with the government to make sure the recommendations of the Royal Commission are implemented so that our brave men and women can get the best support that they deserve. That's it, that we're here, we want to work with the government. The problem is the government, it's not their focal point. It's not what they want to focus on. We've seen a recommendation in the Royal Commission that veteran hubs are integral to making sure that veterans and their families get the support that they need. Well, Townsville's veteran hub, called the Oasis, is closing its doors.
Wow.
This whole year, they've been writing to the minister, wanting to get the support. And you know what? They just wanted the minister to engage and go, how can we best work with you to support the largest garrison city in the country, the largest veteran cohort in the country, and nothing happened. So now the one-stop shop for veterans and their families is going to close. Now, that's leading to Christmas. Things are tough. People are going to be needing the supports and they're going to have nowhere to turn. And the minister I think it was at a presser or the press club or something like that, he said, oh, well, there's other options. Yeah, well, mate, there is no other option when you're in a time when you need the support and you only know of the one place that has all the supports. So I'm really disappointed in Matt Keogh. I'm really disappointed in Luke Gosling, who is a veteran himself and is the special envoy. But most importantly, the Prime Minister, because he wanted to spruik the Royal Commission in opposition. When I spoke with you about it, I walked in against my party and said we must have it, and we got it. And then, you know, they want to run to a veteran on Anzac Day or Remembrance Day and get a photo for their social media. But when rubber needs to hit the road, they're not here.
But also I think that it speaks to, again, the moments where we have to go back to scenarios where, you know, in question time, in sitting weeks, sometimes they're, you know, I know all those people sitting up in the media decide what gets the attention, but certainly to try to hold them to some level of account, right? Like the details that you've just put forward there about Townsville and that Veterans Hub. Again, I mean, you know, this couldn't be clearer, right? Royal Commission says keep them. They say we're doing everything we can about the Royal Commission and their 122 suggestions on the ground in a city where there's plenty of people serving and plenty of people who formerly served. That support just falls through the floor. And again, inside the attitude and the battle towards things like the Veterans Department, all of that needs to be dealt with. But it just seems like there's no urgency, there's no follow-up, there's a speech every now and then. You try to get a bit of information and it just falls into the same dark hole, which is kind of how we ended up in the scenario of needing a Royal Commission.
Nothing's improved. And I want to be extremely clear on that. Nothing has improved for the welfare and well-being of our veterans and their families. Smoke and mirrors, saying that all these things have occurred, they have not. People are doing it tough, and our veterans, the one that they're the people that we call on when in service to go and fight in our wars, and they should be supported when they come home, and their families. heard a lot of platitudes, heard a lot of well wishes from the opposition now government, and now they're sitting there with their hands wide open going, you promised, you said you'd help, you said you'd support, and nothing has occurred. It's been a failure, and I think I've said it to you before, I take every single self-harm attempt or suicide that has occurred in our community as a personal failure, but as a failure of every single politician who has not stood up and said this government needs to pull their finger out and actually start doing what they promised. Yeah,
because Phil, I mean, that's such a powerful thing to say, but also what frightens me here is that if we continue to let people down, then they don't even trust that help is coming.
It's true. They don't trust that the people that sent them will support them. They don't trust that that the wraparound services will be there because they're being cancelled or they're not being supported, and they go away. Then when do they come back? And then you have a government and opposition that say we want more people to join. Okay. Oh, people don't want to join if they're not going to get the support, if their families aren't going to get that support. So I think it's a massive failure, and it crushes my heart. And the reason I really wanted to come on tonight, not just to be on a show with you, mate, is because people of Australia need to hear this. They need to know that the government isn't just failing, they are letting down the people that support this nation and fight for it.
Well, we love you, mate. All the best to you and your family, the wider community in Townsville. It's a very special part of Australia. You're always great to us, and any time to chat, you know how much I enjoy it. Thank you so much, mate.